talking about leadership. But I'm going to add another element to this mix. And I submit to you that it's going to increase the powerful impact that leadership will bring. And so I want you to, for a moment, close your eyes and take an imaginary journey with me to a children's playground. It's a beautiful spring day, sun shining on a Saturday like today, and there's lots of children at the playground. You go to the swings, there's all full of children, everyone swinging back and forth. Maybe a parent is pushing one, but most of the children are there just having a grand time. You walk over to the slide, and children are taking their turns going up the ladder and sliding down. Remember that feeling as a child? Whee! Mom, look, no hands. And they get to the bottom, run around and wait their turn to climb back up again. You go over to where there's things to climb on, monkey bars, jungle gym, maybe even some ropes, and there's children testing their muscles and moving and gaining confidence. And then you come to the Teeter Totter and you can open your eyes. There's no one there. A young girl about 5 years old walks over, sits down on one of the Teeter Totters. She sits there for a moment, kind of goes, get this thing to move. Doesn't do anything. She moves just the handle, tries to make it move. Nothing happens. She bounces up and down a couple more times. It's this wonderful expression on her face. Like she wants to get it to go. And after a few seconds, she gets up and runs off. She has just learned a valuable lesson. You can't play on a teeter-totter alone. But the same is true, ladies and gentlemen, of us with leadership. Too often we try to treat leadership like a teeter-totter and play on it alone. It doesn't work. I know. I tried it, and it didn't work. I'm a pastor. I've been a pastor for over 40 years. My second position as a pastor, I was in a corporate-sized congregation, one of 5 pastors, the very first female pastor on the staff. 4 years in, the long-serving senior pastor retired, and after about 5 months, a new senior pastor came on the staff. About 6 months later, he asked me to his office one day, and he said he was going to allow me to choose. I could resign or be fired. Ooh. There was nothing in my life. There was nothing I knew about any congregation, any church, anywhere that prepared me for that choice. I was devastated. I felt like a great big failure, a big fat F. I had failed the congregation, or at least that pastor seemed to think I did. My family, myself, I even felt like I'd failed God. And I was on the verge of quitting ministry altogether. A friend handed me a book she found in the public library and said, I had to read it. I looked at the title and I thought, yeah, right. But because she was my friend, I read it. And in that book, I've read a statement that gratitude was a shortcut to happiness. And I thought, oh yeah, what do I have to be grateful for? I don't have a job, no income, nothing that would be in the offering for about 6 months to a year at best if it was a church. And I had no clue what else I would do. So I said, okay, I'm going to try this. It took me a couple days. I came up with one thing to be grateful for. I wasn't happy. Tried some more, I came up with the second thing, I still wasn't happy. But something did start to happen. I began to notice that the more I looked, the more I was found to be grateful for. Even though I was still angry and hurt and sad and somewhat depressed and had no job. But that began a change, and I began to reach out. I worked with a person And then I worked with somebody else as a mentor for about a year, and I got married. Wonderful. My husband's also a pastor. I went on to serve in a teen ministry with him for 12 fulfilling years. I mentored 14 seminary students through 2 years each of their theological education. After retiring when I was ready, I went on to host a weekly live radio show for 5.5 years that got heard in over 25 countries across 6 continents. I now have a new podcast called The Tilted Halo, which is for women of faith in leadership, any faith, who know perfectly well that we are not perfect. And I'm here now with you. Stress and loneliness, as Dr. Judy said on the first day, were some of the things that had gotten me down to where I was, and why, probably why that pastor said, goodbye, you're out of here. There are statistics that haven't been shared yet. Which way do I point this? Workplace stress. 4 out of 5, 80% report that a change in leadership affects their stress level. For some it may go down, luckily, but for others it may increase at least for a time. 62% of working women in the United States as well as Canada feel stressed on a daily basis. 62% of us, probably. Stress, anxiety, and depression cost the global economy around $1 trillion in lost productivity every year, and every day, approximately 1 million workers in the United States do not show up for work because of the stress they experience there. For those of you who work with other people, that affects you. Those stress statistics, I was part of that. Okay. Okay, where am I?
Proud of you, good thing.
Loneliness. Ministry can be very lonely.
Yes, ma'am.
A survey taken across 142 countries, not including China, found that 42% of people aged 15 and older self-reported feeling very or fairly lonely. 79 of those 142 countries, women, any surprise, had higher reports of loneliness than men. And chronic loneliness can increase the risk of mortality by 26%. We are women. That means some of us in this room, perhaps you, like me, have been very lonely or may be so.
It's the one on the right.
Okay, there we go. That's the quote that got me started. When we are happy, we are truly grateful. The reverse also holds true. I call gratitude the sweetest way to embrace happiness. We can cut through all of the misery by turning our attention to being grateful. In spite of all of the catastrophes that might occur, we can find in little and big ways bottomless well springs for our thankfulness. Gratitude then becomes the shortest of shortcuts to happiness. Barry Neil Kaufman. Copyright 1991, I read that in 1992. Any of you here who know anything about positive psychology will realize that is years before Dr. Martin Seligman started what is now known as positive psychology. But he's not the only one. Dr. Robert Emmons is known as the father of the science of gratitude. It is being studied scientifically. And he writes, gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. It's amazing how well gratitude kind of breeds more gratitude. And then one more, I hope. Sean Achor. He is a internationally well-known speaker, author, and he has spoken for at least about half of the Fortune 500 and 100 companies. He writes, happiness is not the belief that we don't need to change. It is a realization that we can. Knowing that we can change empowers us to do that. To make other choices. To realize there are other choices. And these things are gratitude bringing happiness, but gratitude brings so much more than that. Gratitude, when we express it to other people, it helps them feel seen and heard and valued. It improves relationships. It helps retain qualified and good employees. It opens the mind to creativity and collaboration. All things that as entrepreneurs and leaders that we need and need to share within the places where we are working. But gratitude wasn't the only thing I worked with. Part of it, whoops, I wanted to go back with that. Part of it was also working on being a mentor and having mentors. The mentors I had were like some of you have talked about, the people who pushed you to go beyond your comfort zone, to help you reach out to do new things. The mentoring I did with 14 seminary students was help them through some of the joys, sorrows, questions, and uncertainties that they faced as well. But gratitude and mentoring are the duo that form the other part of that Teeter Totter of leadership that help to raise us up and help to raise others as well. And so 3 takeaways for each of you. The first is to start a gratitude journal. If you don't do that, I encourage you tonight, before you go to sleep, write down at least 3 things unique to this day that you are grateful for. You can use a simple little notebook, you can put it into your phone or your computer, but I also have a little thing for every one of you. Totally complimentary. There's samples of it out by the refreshments there for a gratitude journal to start with. It's a PDF. You can copy whichever pages you want. You can copy multiple ones of them. You can share it. You cannot sell it. Okay? That's the only thing I say with that. So it's got some quotes on it. Some of them are from scripture. Some of them are from wise sayings from other people. So again, you can copy whichever ones you want. But start a gratitude journal, a way of focusing on gratitude every single day. It has become a pillar in my life that has changed my perspective on many, many things. And I'm going to skip that one for now. Become a mentor. We've heard that from others here today as well. Clara, you talked about that. Pay it forward. Gratitude expressed is paying it forward. That's a natural extension of our gratitude, is to pay it forward to others, to share what you have learned, even if you don't really think you've been in business long enough to do something. You know things. You're worth $42 million, remember? 45. 45. And so, share that, what you know. It's the life experiences. Many of you have been sharing your story. Your story is your power. Sharing that with someone else is powerful. And it helps someone else along the way as a mentor. So mentors, you need to be able to listen to be a good mentor. That's something I teach as well. To hear people for who they are without judgment, and to be able to share with them what they need along the way. Some constructive feedback as well. And so, become a mentor. It can be formal, it can be informal. And then the last part, I skipped the one slide because I wanted that last, is have a mentor. You've heard that from others around here. It is so important, no matter how old you are. And I say that standing up here as probably the oldest person in this room. I'm 70 years old. I still have mentors.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Okay? Daddy got big one. I still have mentors. And it's anytime you're in leadership, any new way you work in life, it's great to have someone there who knows the ropes, who's been there before, who can help you along the way. And sharing that with somebody else as well as a mentor. And as a mentor, you can also engage in communities. It can be professional network groups, it can be faith communities, it can be online communities, social media groups, and things like that. But have a mentor. And to help you with that, I'm offering a Leading with Impact complimentary call. It's about 20 minutes worth, and to take a look at what's going on with your leadership, offer some constructive feedback if that's warranted, to see some places where maybe you're struggling a little bit, and offering a couple of strategies. I can only do this for 20 people at max because of my calendar, but I also have a gift for anybody who signs up for that. I work with partner with another group and person who has allowed me to offer to those who come for that call to have a free website SEO analysis. So for any of you who have a website, if you haven't had that analyzed lately, where are the links broken? What's keeping people from staying on your site? What's working well? You get a printout of it and you can hand it to whoever's working on your website. So see me, I have a place for you to sign up, a sheet to help you do that, and free website analysis. That's me. Literally on a Teeter Totter. On the other side is one of my mentors. Having fun about a year ago. Doing what I'm talking about. We believe that women at every level of leadership deserve caring mentors and powerful tools like gratitude, so you can ride the teeter-totter of leadership with joy. So, thank you very much.